this gets so complicated. You lose your mind just to change it, and tomorrow you'll regret it. But until the morning, dance with me, baby, take away the pain. Dance with me, baby, you can lead the way. Dance with me, baby, a cure for the heartbreak. Dance with me and let this old record play. Let it play, baby. Let it play, baby. Dance with me and let this old record play.
Without you here, can't sleep, can't breathe. I need you here, right next to me. Thoughts in my head, racing. We can't go on like this anymore. I'm done with the games we're playing. I'm over it. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Oh, yeah, I gotta let you go. Oh, yeah, I gotta let you go. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Summer fine, summer fine. I saw you right up in the summertime, summertime. I tried to make you mine, it wouldn't work. Put in work, I had to push you first. I lost my mind, went berserk. I feel like Uzi Vert. Vivian Westwood chain hanging right around my neck. Balenciaga kicks 44 when I step. Summer fine, summer fine. I saw you right up in the summertime, summertime. But now I stay inside all the time, wasting away, waiting for you to call one more time. Without you here, can't sleep, can't breathe. I need you here, right next to me. Thoughts in my head, racing. We can't go on like this anymore. I'm done with the games we're playing. I'm over it. So I had to let you go. Oh. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Hey, yeah, I gotta let you go. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Yeah, I gotta let you go. I've been up for 3 nights. My eyes are bloodshot red. Damn, I wanna see the sunshine. It's getting to my head. One look in the mirror, don't like what I find. I know that somewhere in there there's a good guy.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to TTML. We are here for Division 2 action. It is round 10 of the championship as we take in the Brazilian Grand Prix from the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. My name is James Head, going to be taking you through the stream as always, and joining me in the commentary box for the second week in a row is Mr. Michael Edwards. Mike, how you doing?
It's not a Thursday night without me, is it? But we are here for the penultimate round of the championship, and potentially both championships are getting decided tonight, potentially.
Potentially, and we'll run through the championship permutations, of course, in just a second. But to reflect on what happened last week, a lot has happened within a week here in Division 2. Ryan won the race last time out from Tionis in second and Alonso in third. Gary, in the meantime, who was meant to be in championship contention, gone out the league. So he is not factored within these championship permutations into tonight. And basically, the bread and butter story is Scuba has got to outscore Matt Tibos. If he fails to outscore Scuba. Right, let's start again. If Matt Tibos fails to outscore him, Scuba, by more than 18 points, Scuba wins the championship. If Alonso fails to outscore Scuba by 27 points, then Scuba wins the championship. Simple as that. Made life difficult for myself there, didn't I, Mike?
Yes, but bottom line, all Scuba needs to do is, if he finishes ahead both of them, championship over.
Championship over indeed. Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings in question. Scuba, of course, leading on 183 points into tonight. Gary in second, who's left the league on 163. Matt Tibos is in third on 132. A 51-point gap between Scuba and Matt Tibos to factor in. Alonso in fourth on 123. The gap is 60 points between Scuba and Alonso. Jorga's in fifth on 111. LMN is in sixth on 100. Noisy B. Morgan tied for seventh on 98 points. And Ryan and Isotopic in tied for ninth on 83. Second half of the grid are as follows. Swain 11th on 78, with Jonathan 12th on 73. Callboy 13th on 70. Volakongan in 14th on 41, who's a reserve. Falk in 15th on 40. TDB in 16th on 33. He only recently joined 2 races ago. Trippy Jeff in 17th on 30. Wesker in 18th on 26, now stepping up to the Racing Point full time. Nathan in 19th on 25, and AJ in 20th on 22. And Scuba, obviously, 51 points ahead of Matt Tibos coming into tonight, Mike. Surely he's got one hand on that championship.
Yeah, absolutely. He is in the most perfect spot going into this race. Of course, it is a shame that we have lost Gary and that potential championship fight going down to the wire. But with Gary leaving, one hand on the trophy for Scuba. Also, he's got his other hand on the constructors as well with Matt.
Yeah, I would say he's got a little pinky possibly on his on the constructors standings. We'll have a look at the constructors standings now. Red Bull in the lead on 315 points. Alfa Romeo in second on 209. Bread and butter is, in terms of the constructors, Red Bull have got to outscore Alfa Romeo by 10 points, and it's done. Job done for Red Bull to win the constructors. Williams are in third on 203. Renault in fourth on 171. Mercedes fifth on 148. Haas in sixth on 127. Ferrari and AlphaTauri, that could be quite a spicy battle for seventh. They're only 3 points separated, 83 and 80 respectively. McLaren in ninth on 40, and Racing Point in 10th on 33 points. Red Bull, though, surely you've got the constructors' standings pretty much wrapped on their fingers.
Yeah, surely. I mean, last week I think was just prolonging the inevitable. Of course, last week I believe both of the Red Bulls didn't really have a good showing out. I believe Matt Tibos caught up in early incident, put him towards the back of the grid, and Scuba was just off the top 5.
Yeah, I think Scuba finished 6th, if I'm not mistaken, last time out. It was either 6th or 7th. And Matt Tibos, of course, went further down the field. But we are about to get going in towards qualifying. We'll have a look at the track map in question quickly. 4.3 kilometres in length, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. 3 DRS zones awaiting these guys out. Sorry, 2 DRS zones, I should say, awaiting these guys out on track. 1 down the start-finish rate, 1 down in towards turn 4 at the Cida del Lago. There's going to be plenty of Brazilian corner names. So I'm just warning you, if I pronounce these wrong, I apologise, but I'm not that great at Portuguese, not Brazilian. Mike, final thoughts. Who's going to get pole in quali?
Do you know what? I have a feeling we might see a pole position from Jorg. It's been a while since he's not got a pole position, so I'm going with Jorg for pole.
Interesting selection there, Mike, and I'm sure it is going to be fascinating to see how all this is going to unfold out on track. So, without further ado, let us get started then into qualifying. Welcome along everyone to TTML. We are here for round 10 of the championship as we take in the Brazilian Grand Prix from the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache here in Sao Paulo in the jungle. 3 tyre compounds available for the guys out on track tonight. They are the C1, C2 and C3 compound of tyre, the softs, mediums and the hards of course to you and me. Around a high degradation circuit as well, it's going to be fascinating to see, are these tyres going to puncture towards the end of the race? We were speaking about that on Tuesday night in Division 1 as well. Let us have a look then at the track map in question. 4.309 kilometres takes the drivers around 15 turns with the 2 DRS zones. 1 down the start finish straight, 1 down and towards turn 4 to Cida do Lago, and a very, very high changing elevation track, which the drivers have got to be careful of, especially in that middle sector where you can end up spinning the car around. As we come into qualifying, on the right-hand side of your screen, you should see the championship permutations once again. Scuba, of course, Matt Tibos has got to outscore Scuba by 18 points, essentially, to try and stay within the championship. Matt Tibos has got to finish... Well, Scuba actually could still win the championship as a result of that position, but you never really know. We are dry in qualifying, though, and Mike, we've got the first cars coming out.
Yes, I believe we got Ferrari just coming out of the garage, and we got 2 cars already at the end of the pit lane. Fortunately, I believe it is Nathan and the other Haas of Brandon first out on track.
Yeah, Nathan and Brandon, of course, first out on track. Brandon is the first man out on track, and Mike, you've had experience of racing probably against them in League of Europe.
Yes, and I'm interested to see how Brandon gets on, because I feel that this is going to be a tough race for him, baptism by fire, so to speak.
Yeah, he's coming through turn 9 and then towards turn 10 at the top of the hill at Vico de Pato. So now he comes through turn 10 and then towards turn 11 and turn 12, of course. Thank you to Tom with these utterly brilliant graphics that, of course, we have got in hand. And, of course, to the TAS system as well. IGK TAS, of course, sponsoring us with the TAS system. And it is very much a payable thing, as I would access the TAS system. My iPad, though, has just crashed. There we are. Brandon now coming across the start-finish line, and he's going to set us up onto a lap as he now comes up the hill in towards turn 1 and then towards the centre messes at turns 2 and then turn through turn 2 now, and then coming through turn number 3 out on track. So looking very good. So comes through now through turn 3 and then up towards turn number 4 out on track, and let's see what its first sector is like. 16.590 on my screen on the middle of the steering wheel. So now come through to see the Lago at turn 4, now through turn 5 and then up towards the hill at turn 6. Alonso, Trulli and Glock coming together, of course, in 2009 into Ferradura. Then through turn 7, very unstable coming through turn 7, the loss of the traction through there. Now through turn 8 and then down the hill and towards turn 9. And speaking of the elevation change, this is the highest point on the track now at Vico de Pato at turn 10. And through turn 10 very nicely, misses the apex on the turn in. Now coming through turn 11 in the Haas, and then through turn 12. It's 50.8 through the middle sector from the Haas man, as he now comes out the final couple of corners through Junsao, and then up the hill through turn 13, where Alonso went, of course, in 2003, spearing off into the wall in the Renault. Now coming across the line comes Brandon, first lap of the night, and it's a 107.423, a very nice lap there from the American.
Yep, and I was on board with his teammate. A little bit scruffy in the final sector, but it's a 6.7.
Yeah, very good lap there from Nathan. B. Morgan coming into second as well, 106.9. Ryan in third. I have successfully, by the way, got my iPad back on, which I'm very glad to see, and hopefully I'll be able to use the TAS system. Corbo now coming through the final couple of corners through John South. Shaunis went second with a 106.907, 5,000 of a second ahead of B. Morgan, and Ryan is only 200 of a second off Tionis as well. As now Cowboy reaches to the line, comes across, and actually it was an invalidated lap, as Wesker is now at the top of the hill, coming through turn 11 and then in towards Junsao at turn 12.
Yep, and Scuba out there at the moment on the set of the mediums, going to cross the line now, and it's a 7.1 on the mediums.
Not a bad lap from Scuba, the Irishman, 107.1 as you say. Wesker then coming towards the line, a qualifying specialist normally, as he comes across the line and he goes 6th with a 106.957. And look at how many drivers are separated by a 106.9 out on track. Isotopic now comes in to go into 6th as well. In fact, it was Matt Tibos up to 5th, sorry. Tionis 2nd, all the way down to Wesker 7th. And factor in AJ as well. There's a tenth of a second separating 7 drivers.
It's incredibly tight up there at the sharp end. As we got Secret Dudley putting in at 7.6 for his opening lap. And around a circuit like this, I think it is highly beneficial just to get a lap on the board, because it's very easy to invalidate you.
Yeah, really easy to invalidate, especially through turn 1 where he's just went through. Secret Dundee, of course, the Hungarian, making his debut tonight here in TTML Division 2. He goes into 11th. The Augers on the lap coming through the middle sector. I'm not sure if it's actually a valid lap out on track, but we'll see very soon as he now comes through turn 10 at Vico de Bato at the top of the hill. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, actually, as Herpulibo goes up into 9 for the 107 flat. So good lap time from him. I've now got the task system up, which is great. Nathan was fastest in the middle sector. B. Morgan's got the fastest first sector. Ryan's got the fastest first sector out on track. So, with Jonathan second, he hasn't got any of the fastest 3 sectors out on track, as now Yo comes across the line, and he goes on the 11th for the 107.222, and hopefully that's not going to be the number he is going to be ringing tonight. But Nathan out on top, Jonathan second, B. Morgan in third, and that is pretty much, I would say, the first lap's done here in qualifying, as LMN is now going to set us up on a lap, the Dane, coming through turn 15.
Yep, Elemen about to get his qualifying campaign underway as he breaks down into turn 1. Big lock up there on the front left. Pretty nice with the centre S's, keeping it tight on the exit. I think he scrubbed off just a little bit of speed by keeping it so tight. But he is purple in sector 1, so who am I to argue with it? As we come through the middle sector now. The elevation going up the hill to turn 6 and 7. Another hard braking and down the hill once again through turns 9, and from the traction now back up the hill towards 10, breaking it down, short shifting all the way up to 4th there. Very interesting from LMN as we go through turn 11, and it's a 50.2 middle sector, and now nothing left to do but put your foot to the floor all the way to the racing, the start finish line.
I think this is going to be Paul. LMN's on a really good lap according to the task system, comes across the line, and he goes Paul, and after a statement and a half, it's a 106.539, and he breaks 2.5 tenths away from Nathan, and that, do you know what, could be the lap to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very impressive lap from LMN. Noisy now just starting his lap. Didn't really get an ideal first run in with a 9.6. He'll be hoping to improve on that greatly as we run down to the first sector split, and he's 9 tenths up already.
Yeah, 16.6 through the first sector according to the task system. Now Noisy comes up through turn 5 and then up towards turn 6 here at Ferradura. Nearly 10 minutes left to go in qualifying. Elemen out on top, Nathan second, Sionis in third, B. Morgan fourth, Ryan in fifth, Matt Tibble sixth, Isotopic seventh, Wesker 8, AJ ninth, and a Pulifor ran off the top 10, 5 tenths per second, just under, separating the top 10 as Ryan has just popped up into second with a 106.633. So good up there by Ryan. We're still on board though with Noisy, now coming through in towards Jun Sao at the end of the middle sector, and it's a 33.9, so it's a really good lap here from Noisy. He's on a set of soft compounded tyres, as you can see. Scuba is back out there as well. He is just through the first sector, I believe, a 16.5 it was from Scuba through the first sector, so Noisy now toward the line. He's going to improve massively on this lap. Comes across the line now, he puts himself up to 5th with a 106.901, a good lap from him. Scuba though coming through Jun out the middle sector, 33.7, fastest out of everyone in the middle sector. He's on a set of soft compounded tyres. Let's see what the Irishman can do. Comes across the line, and Elemen's time is still not beatable. He goes third.
Yeah, but that is massive for Scuba. He's already ahead of both of his championship rivals.
Nathan invalidated on a lap in 5th, 106.779, his best currently. B. Morgan is just through the the middle sector, in fact, and actually he's just pulled off to the left-hand side. He must have got a really, really bad middle sector. The early stages of this middle sector must have got really, really bad, coming out of turn 5 and then 6, and then he's just decided to back off the lap completely. So B. Morgan will be hoping to try and improve up. Man that did improve up, however, was AJ. He went 4th with a 106.7. AJ's qualifying has been very consistent, I think, this season, but certainly in the earlier part where I covered in Spain, I think it was, AJ really struggled in terms of his quali pace, but he seems to have got his act right together. Sway just pops up in behind him into 5th.
Yeah, and this is the AJ that we were seeing last season, always up there in terms of qualifying. So it's good to see him back up towards the top end once again. And it took me a very long time to realise that one of our championship contenders, Alonso, is in here.
He is not here. That's a good spot. I didn't even see that. So Alonso is not within the championship fight. And as Cowboy goes spearing off and he retires just out on track. There was a Haas there out in front of him. I think that was Nathan on a down lap, but Cowboy coming out of turn 9 has spun the car around, and unfortunately for him, that is him out the session. That Haas was one very, very lucky boy, however.
Yeah, that was Brandon. He's just coming up the hill now. He does have a Ferrari behind him who has invalidated his lap, so no threat there. I believe we got Element about to get himself set up to go once again as he opens DRS now towards the start-finish line.
Starts us off then on a lap as Element now comes through in towards turn number 1, a 106.539 his lap time. 7.5 minutes to go in qualifying, more than halfway through. We now ride on board with him through the centre S's, through turn 2 and through turn 3. The difficulty is he's on pole position and he's going to have to try and improve on this lap. It's a 16.4, however, through the first sector. It's a 16.3 in fact through the first sector. So he's already a 10th up on this lap time so far, and LMN will be hoping to try and get a good lap in. Now through Ferradura at turn 6, through turn 7, runs wide, coming out of turn 8. Has he invalidated? Yeah. I think he has. He's invalidated that on track. So LMN off on this lap, and the Dane just ran too much wide out of turn 6, then didn't get the traction coming out of turn 7. He went out wide, and unfortunately for them, that is an invalidation out on track.
Yeah, that is unfortunate there for LMN, but that is one of the risks at this track. I would say it's so easy just to pick up that invalidation. As we got Tionis coming for the second sector split. I believe he's backed off actually. Yes, he has.
He has indeed, yeah, 35.4 through the middle sector. I'm on board with York coming through turn 8, pretty much at the top of the hill. Now through turn 9, my Cowboy, of course, spun. Cowboy out the session, the only man to not get a lap time in, but a second, pretty much separating the whole field. Brandon's holding his own, by the way. He said he was a Division 4 driver, is actually not holding his own. York nearly spun it coming out of Rico de Pato at turn 10. Wester's gone third with a 106.6. I think we spotted that at the exact same time there. But Yorga's coming up the hill, 34.1. It's personal best in the first and the middle sector. Is he going to try and improve on his time? He is one of the championship contenders for 4th out on track. Comes across the line, and he only pops himself up. And he does improve up to 14th position. Wesker, however, on a lap. LMN, I believe, is on a lap as well. 16.4 through the first sector from LMN. Now through the middle sector. Split, and he's purple through the middle sector. LMN is responding really, really well to pressure here. Wesker, of course, third. Scuba went 4th as well. We're on 6.680. He's more than a 10th of a second off as LMN now has actually run out of fuel. And he comes into the pit lane. And he was just trying to whet the appetite there. Wesker, I think, has invalidated. Isotopic is through. Matibos goes second at 1,000.
Oh, that is as close as it gets.
Wow. Absolutely unbelievable. But could it be beatable? Because Scuba is in purple middle sector, 33.6 through the middle sector. Let's see the Irishman. Is he going to go on pole with 5 minutes to go in the session? Yes, he does with a 106.466. We thought Element's time might have been beatable. Scuba, though, has just beaten it. And the championship leader is currently getting 2 more points onto his tally. Matt Tibos is more than a 10th behind him as well out on track, or less than a 10th per second behind him out on track as well. Red Bull's first and third, and appropriately, they are split by the sister car.
Yeah, it's like a Red Bull family reunion at the moment at the top end of you in qualifying.
It is indeed, yes. Scuba out on top, Element second, Matt Tibos in third, Ryan in 4th. I think Wesker has obviously ran out of fuel. He's just trooping around in the final couple of corners. We've got Noisy on a lap, I believe. He's coming out the final corner now. Oh, and he's getting straight into the pit lane. Absolutely typical as we ride on board with him. Brandon is just on the lap. He's coming across the line now, and he does improve slightly. 107.135. So the American goals stays 15th. Yoga ahead of him by more than a 10th of a second out on track. That's pretty much, I think, all of the lap times done. I think, however, Nathan has just started the lap, and he's coming through into Ferradura at turn 6.
Yep, Nathan out there at the moment on his flying lap. We got Secret Dundley about to get his lap underway as he's not too far ahead of the Haas, on track at least.
Yeah, and we'll see, of course, how Secret Dundee gets on. Not holding his own at the minute, 107.6. I mean, he's more than a second off Scuba. If he does improve on his lap time, he could try and factor in. Nathan through the middle sector, 33.8 through the middle sector from Nathan, and that is not going to be an improvement in the final sector, because he's done a Kimi Raikkonen coming out of turn 12, nearly going the wrong way out on track. Of course, he can't go on the right-hand side there, because it's blocked off. Nathan then is pretty much spun out through Jun Sao, and that is his qualifying, I would say, done for now. However, we will get one more run.
Yeah, and you could just see as he was going through the final real corner, I should say, at the bottom of the hill, he was just sliding all the way through it. He just did not have the grip there at turn 12. But we have Helipoo Boy out on track now, and yes, I know I butchered his name, but it's all good.
I didn't realise it was called Helipoo Boy.
I said
Hapuli Boy, 106.965. Trust me, it's not as bad as what Spag said last night about Funky Chicken. You can probably see what he probably said. Dundee, though, is on a lap time coming up towards the line. The Hungarian really didn't lose it that much coming through the middle sector, comes across the line, and he does improve with a 107.270. It's a good lap time improvement from him, and he's now less than a second off Scuba.
Yep, and we got I'm not going to try and pronounce it again.
Hapuli Boys. Yeah, Hapuli Boys coming up towards the line. I'll save you bacon before you try and do it. And he goes 6th, actually, a 106.678. Good lap time there from him. Ryan, however, has just started up on a lap coming through the first sector, and he's purple, 16.3 through the first.
Yep, and that's exactly what Ryan needs now. He needs to go ahead and leave it all out there now on track. If he does invalidate, he does have time to do another lap, but obviously he doesn't want to be putting extra wear on those tyres.
He's coming up on traffic here, so this might actually hold him back, and yeah, it is going to hold him back. He was a little bit slow coming out through turn 10 of Vico de Battle, through turn 11, now through turn 12. It's green in the middle sector. He's not got any traffic ahead of him now out on track, so now is the chance for him to fly to the line. Coming through turn 14, and then through turn 15, is Ryan going to improve up towards the top end of the field? Is he going to outdo Scuba with 50 seconds to go? No, he did improve though, 106.591, and he puts himself still in 4th, but a bare improvement there, as Matt Tibos has just started up on his lap. He's coming through turn 9, the main championship contender coming into tonight. Let's see how he gets on.
Yeah,
he's invalid.
He's invalid. He's backed off. He's got time to go again, but he does have his teammate ahead of him. Maybe having Scuba ahead will give him the motivation to snatch his pole away from him.
Might do. Isotopic's coming through the first couple of corners. Sway's actually invalidated on his lap time, so Sway's done on his lap time. He runs out wide. Morgan is probably one of the first to come across the line, I believe. Nobody's through the middle sector except from Jorg. Jorg is through the middle sector to the line, and he goes 5th with a 106.621. Good lap time from him.
I just jumped on board with Wesker, and he just went completely sliding across the grass in between turn 8 and turn 9. Goodness me, and that would be his qualifying done. If Beauty Boy goes up into 7th, Jonas goes up into 9th as well. But LMN coming towards the line, can he defeat Scuba? Comes across the line! No improvement from him. Matt Tibos is through the middle sector. Scuba also through the middle sector as well. Scuba's more further on, out on track. And looking at that first sector split, he's not green. Purple, though, through the first sector was Wesker, and he invalidated. Isotopic over a 10th up, and he gets himself up into 4th. Not a bad lap time from him. There's yellow flag in sector 3 just at the top of the hill here. That's the car going slow. Oh my goodness me. That was AJ who spun it coming through 10-14. Scuba though to the line. Doesn't improve. Matt Tibos has got a chance. He hasn't got a chance because that is him done. Spins out of Jun Sao, I think that was. And that, I believe, is the end of qualifying. Scuba out on top. Element in second and Matt Tibos in third. Who would have thought it with 4 minutes to go in the session? The top 3 have remained that way. Yeah, and it's an all Red Bull family at the top.
It is. It's like Jaime Alguersuari trying to get on the act in the 2011 Chinese Grand Prix. There we are. Make
That's
your
a throwback.
Yeah, make your own judgment on that. Of course, that was the Grand Prix where Buemi lost all of his tyres. I believe, anyways. But Scuba, out on top, 700th of a second, barely a 10th of a second, actually. Separating the top four, really close in qualified. And my God, look further down the field. Scuba, though, out on top. Element in second, Matt Tibos in third. Isotopic in fourth, with Ryan in fifth, Noisy in sixth, Jorgen seventh, Wesker eighth, Beauty Boy in ninth, Jonas rounding off the top 10. Nathan in 11th, AJ in 12th. Top 12 are separated by less than 3/10. Sway 13th, B. Morgan 14th. Brandon and Secret Dundee a little bit outpaced, but I tell you what, for the whole field to be separated by a second, and the top 14 to be separated by just over 3/10 of a second, it comes to show on one lap pace how close this division actually is.
Yeah, but it's the race where it's won and lost. We have to see how they get on with their race pace now.
Yeah, that race pace, of course, will be very, very different, and I'm sure we will get into the formation lap and everything very soon indeed. Just to speak about the air temperature as well from Interlagos, it was cloudy, 25 degrees air temperature, 32 degrees track temperature. Another wonder why in the jungle. I'm sweating here in the northeast of England, right next to a radiator at the minute, so I can only imagine how hot it actually is there in Brazil. I think we have the nice cozy life, to be honest, sitting next to a radiator in the
Speak for yourself. I'm in Wales. It rains all the time.
That is very true. That is very true. And of course, if anybody has been to Wales, you know it rains pretty much 365 days of the year there. So there we are.
Our summer is literally 4 days where it doesn't rain.
God almighty. Anyways, 5 seconds to go before we get into the qualifying... before we get into the formation lap, even, not the qualifying session. We've already had that, of course. And it was Scuba out on top. And he takes 2 extra points. So really now, it is 16 points needed for Matt Tibos to outscore Scuba. 20 points, I should say, for Matt Tibos to outscore Scuba out on track rather than 18. So, in theory, Scuba pretty much got one hand wrapped around this championship out on track. But let's see what he can do. And of course, this is a very high tyre degradation circuit. So don't be surprised, I'll say it now, don't be surprised if we see punctures at the end.
Yeah, but that is a big risk. But we're going to have to see, looking outside the top 10 on the tyre choices. We got Nathan and Dundee, the only two on the soft tyres, everyone else on mediums.
Yeah, everyone else on a set of softs. One stop really worked around here in Division 1, I know for a fact it did. Nathan is going to be probably the interesting one out of the two of them. Because he's starting in 11th, he's got Jonas and the Beauty Boy who are going to be on more worn tyres out on track. He's going to try and get them off the start, and he's normally quite good with his start as well, is Nathan. Scuba though out on top, Element in second, Matt Tibos in third. Everyone else down in the bottom half of the field are on a set of medium compounded tyres. Tyre degradation around this circuit about 5-6% per lap, so it really takes a hit on these tyres, especially the rear right and the front right, because it is mainly right-handed bend, and that's where it takes the hit.
Yep, and now we got everyone beginning to form up on the grid. I'm going to pull the Uno reverse card and ask you for your top 3.
Knew what was coming. I knew what was coming there. I will go for Scuba for the win and for the championship win. Matt Tibos, I think, will get second. I think it'll be Red Bull 1-2. And for third, I'm going to go for Jorg. I think Jorg might have a good chance there down in 7th. Watch out for Ryan in 5th as well. But we are about to get going. I'm on board with Callboy. Anyways, 5 red lights are coming out now here in Division 2 for Season 3, Round 10 of the Championship. And it's lights out and away we go. Good reactions by Scuba. Gets away really well indeed. Has pulled away from Element. We've already got a graphic switch to the left-hand side. But Scuba leads through turn 1. Element and Matt Tibos follow through in the side-by-side between Ryan, who gets 4th. Isotopic drops down 2 positions from the start. Noisy is down the field. B. Morgan, I think, has gone for a spin in the background as well. But it's Scuba who leads, and it's the side-by-side between the two the AlphaTauri and the Red Bull out on track. The safety car is being deployed as Matt Tibos, I think, got the move done around the outside and towards into the Cedar de Largo, and he gets second position off LMN. So safety car out on track, and I can only assume that's for B. Morgan. And he's lost his front wing, that's why.
Yeah, and Brandon picking up a 5-second time penalty there for cutting the corner and gaining in position.
Yeah, and that would have been, of course, the yellow flag in operation. So sadly for him, he's got that 5-second penalty. Of course, if he doesn't pit in, that'll be out on his time at the end of the race. However, you do have to pit in because there's one mandatory pit stop at least in Formula 1. But we barely even got through the first sector without a safety car being deployed out on track. There was none in Division 1, and we've already got one here in Division 2. Does that set the standard of the racing tonight? Let's see. Scuba the Bad on top, Matt Tibos in second, LMN in third. Most position gains, though, out on track were from Brandon. 4 positions gained for him. AJ up 2 positions. Everyone else in the positives, of course. Matt Tibos, Ryan, Noisy, Tionis is into the pit lane, in fact. AJ's gained 3. Callboy has gained 1 as well, but because these guys are coming into the pit, Tionis, Sway, Secret Dundee, and B. Morgan all into the pit lane. It's going to be interesting to see what tyres these go on. Are they going to go hards? No, I think they're going to go mediums.
Oh, there's a mix. Tionis has gone for hards. Sway on the softs. B. Morgan checking on the hards, and Dundee on the mediums. So a nice little mix, a nice little contrast there between the 4 of them.
Sway, possibly, I think, is probably the most interesting strategy out of the 4 of them that have came into the pit lane. Hards, to be honest, can get towards the end of the race, and they can probably try and get towards the end of the race, as I say, and really try and excel. So they're going to be longer term in this race. Jonas and B. Morgan, they're going to be the 2 to watch in the Renault. But Sway, shorter term, is going to be a massive one to watch out on track, because he's on a set of soft compounder tyres out on track, and I'd be hoping that this safety car will go in sooner rather than later so we can really get those tyres up to temperature and really begin to hound the back of the likes of Callboy, the likes of Jonas ahead. But Sway, if I'm right in thinking, he's going to go softs to about lap 15, mediums to the end.
Yeah, I think that's the strategy that Sway is going for, or he may be thinking this might not be the only safety car we'll see tonight. Of course, mistakes can be easily made around you, especially in the Center S. It's very easy to lose your car. Also, at the bottom of the hill at turn 12, very easy to lose it there. And of course, in the exit at turn 9 as well, very easy to just get a little bit greedy on traction and lose it there. So we could see an extra safety car. Maybe that's what Sway is banking on.
He could be banking on another safety car, or possibly could he be banking on weather conditions changing out on track, with them going onto a set of soft compounder tyres. What Jonas and Dundee and the likes have done doesn't suggest it's going to rain out on track to me. But Sway might think it might come sooner rather than later, because the safety car might be calculating up in his head as that Scuba nearly goes off track behind the virtual Burton Islander. Goodness me, he was doing a bit of lawn mowing coming up the hill in towards turn 6. But Scuba out on top, Matt Tibos in second, LMN in third. And we should be getting going very soon indeed. Just having a look actually in terms of the tyres. 15% for Matt Tibos on the rear right compounder tyre, and Noisy 15% on the rear right as well. I did say the rear right would be the tyre to watch out for, as well as the front right, especially with the lockups around here. But the rear right compounder tyre, Noisy and Ryan and Matt Tibos probably in a little bit of danger, as the safety car is going to come in this lap.
Yep, and now Scuba will control the pace. Hopefully he doesn't see another grain of grass he likes to cut on the restart, but it's nice to see that he's interested in lawn maintenance here at Brazil.
Yeah, get the lawn mowing done, because obviously they'll go there in November, December time in real life Formula 1, of course, if the pandemic ends, but he is backing up the pack enough. There's a little bit of a gap actually between Callboy and Nathan, and he's gone. So Scuba goes, but look at Ryan. Ryan's right on the back of LMN. Really good start from the Williams, and now he's going to tuck out of the slipstream to the outside line coming through turn 1, then in towards the centre S's at turns 2 and 3. Ryan is through down the inside. We've switched up over Matt Tibbles by mistake, but he's on the outside line now through turn 3. Robin is racing at the end of the day, and Ryan and Lemon are still going side by side, running down the straight in towards the seat of the Largo for the 4th time out on track, and Ryan gets the move done. A brilliant restart from him, and he's up into 3rd, and I said he was the man to watch, and that is why he is the man to watch. Reactions like a panther, and he's through and he's into 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic restart there for Ryan, getting the jump on LMN early, and now he's going to try to put these Red Bulls under
Oh,
pressure.
goodness me! There's all sorts of carnage in the background. Corbo's lost his left side end plate out on track. A Puny Boy, I think, was sent round possibly by Nathan. There was a little bit of carnage further down the field. I think Swain, to be honest, got caught in a bit of moment, and that's Nathan that's round, is it? Or Brandon? One of the two has to. Goodness me, there's so much going on.
Yep, Brandon just a little bit too greedy on the throttle there, snap at the rear end, and he goes lawnmower like what Scuba done.
And Swade's going to get both of them here. Swade's on a set of softs, remember, and he's going to get both of them. It's like the partner in the Red Sea. Dunny drops in behind, and now Swade to the outside line. Is surely going to get this move done around the outside. Can he get the move done through turn 1? Yes, he can. Swade is through on a fresh set of softs, and he's through and he's into 12th. And that has played into Swade's hands absolutely perfectly out on track.
Yep, Sway absolutely flying on those soft tyres, and yeah, right now we're seeing a little bit of a scrappy race going on right now, and I'm all for it.
I'm all for it out on track. Of course, the driving standards will have to improve as we go along in the race. Wesker, in the meantime, the Austrian, in the Williams here tonight, on the back of Jorg, and Wesker, of course, will be hoping to try and get onto the back and try and get past him. DRS, of course, will be enabled next lap. The sun has absolutely burst through the clouds here in Interlagos, and it's Scuba who leads, Matt Tibbles in second, Ryan in third. The top 5 are relatively around the same gaps. Wesker, though, is looking on the back. But I'll tell you what, AJ got a good run out of Jun Sao, and he could be on the back here of Wesker, as a Puny Boy has gone for a little bit of a spin coming out of Jun Sao. Luckily kept it at the wall, and he's dropping all the way down to the back of the field.
Yep, and now DRS being enabled, and I gotta look at this right now. AJ is sitting in a very good spot here on those mediums. He's in the train, everyone has DRS on each other, he's just gonna get towed along.
He is going to get towed along out on track, and that's going to be a big positive for him going forward in the race. He's pulling away from Nathan as well, and Nathan's just beginning to drop off, maybe with a little bit of overwearing in his tyres, 22% on that rear. Jorg in front, actually, of Wesker and of AJ, or just in front of those two guys. That he's got probably the worst tyres out on track, 24%. Noisy's got 27%. Matt Tibos has got 28% on that rear right compounder tyre. Matt Tibos is really struggling for a bit of pace as he's dropped nearly out of DRS zone, and that is not what the doctor ordered in terms of the championship fight, as AJ's now going to come under pressure from Nathan. I literally said about half a lap ago that Nathan was struggling. He's now right on the back of AJ and looking to try and get P9 out on track.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing for Nathan is that he has to contend with AJ still having DRS, and the longer AJ can stay in this train, the better it's going to be for him, because these tyres are going to become the better tyres within the next 2 laps or so.
Yeah, 2 or 3 laps, I think the mediums will begin to come in. Brandon and Dundee, I just picked up a 3-second time on the out on track. A Puny Boy has gone through on Callboy, and he's up into P16. It was a clean sailing move down the straight, down and towards turn 1. Got the move done, he's up into 16th position. There is Scuba, though, out in front from Matt Tibbles in second, Ryan in third, with Element in fourth. Noisy in fifth. Noisy's got to be very careful on his lockups, up, especially at the top of the hill, because his tyres, 31%. Matt Tibbles in front, 33%, and his front right actually has just completely shot up to 33% out on track, and this is now going to be a massive worry for Matt Tibbles out on track. He's got Ryan in behind. Ryan's not really pressurising him at this stage, but Ryan at this stage, I think personally, he's got maybe a lap fresher tyres over Matt Tibbles, and how crucial could that be later on in this race?
It's going to be massive, because once Matt Tibos' tyres start to drop off, that's when Ryan's going to seize the opportunity and pounce on the Red Bull.
Oh, here's Jonas. Sorry to cut in. Jonas down the inside of Brandon. This is for P12. Brandon just loses a little bit of the rear end there, and he stays in 12th for now. Jonas dived down the inside. Perfectly legal move from Jonas. Brandon just got a clear bit of oversteer and stays in 12th for now. As we're right on board with this battle, I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, as Brandon, unfortunately, he is running very low on his ERS, so using a lot of it to try and keep up the pace. As I'm sure there's a very loud bang in the background. Hopefully that wasn't anyone's glass or drink and that falling over. But as we're on board with Giannis, as he's on the back of Brandon, this should be a relatively simple DRS overtake, as we've got Nathan also on the back of AJ, who has lost DRS to Wesker up ahead, and this is going to be job done for P9. DRS wide open, he's going to look to the inside and he's going to sail on through it. We've got Jorg there setting the fastest lap of the race at this stage, and he's all over the back of Isotopic as Giannis there getting through on Brandon, and B Morgan a similar move on Secret Dundee there. So both of the Renaults beginning to start carving their way through, as Jorg still over the back of Isotopic, who's just over the 1 second gap to Noisy. So if Isotopic can't close this back up, he'll lose the DRS advantage. So for the middle sector, very crucial not to lose it on traction, as Brandon picks up another 5 second time penalty for corner cutting, and that's him off in the grass. Oh no! Brandon there in the grass at turn 8 picks up another 5 second time penalty for corner cutting. But here we go now, Jorg with DRS on the back of Isotopic, and this is going to be for P6 around the outside, and he'll be straight on through without any worries in the world. And up into P6 goes the Alfa Romeo. And Wesker just looming in behind Isotopic as well, who's, I believe he's just starting to fall off a little bit, but the tyre wear of Matt Tibos right now up in second place. He's got 46% on the rear right and 47% on the front right. His tyres are absolutely cooking, as, oh no, Brandon in the pits, and he has retired from this race as Corboy sets a new fastest lap of the race. And he is up in the 16th, yellow flag in sector 1, obviously for Brandon's AI car, which will be coming back out on track. We hope not, but it is the code of the game, as we've got Ryan looking now towards the back of Matt Tibos, and he's getting closer, but he just can't get close enough. As Jorg trying to gap Isotopic, we got Wesker not too far behind the Ferrari for P7. Matt Tibos with a 3 second time penalty. How crucial is that going to be?
Going to be very crucial, as I come back right on the back of Matt Tibos, running down in towards turn number 4 once again through the seat of the Largo. Scuba out on top, Matt Tibos second, right and third. What happened to Brandon, by the way?
Brandon went for a spin at turn 8, cutting across the glass, picked up another 5 second time penalty, and he just came into the pits and retired.
At least he did the decent thing, to be honest, though, and retire. Obviously, very difficult for a driver to continue, especially after he's had a spin. Of course, everything going through your mind. But I'll tell you what, Scuba, going through his mind, he's got one goal in mind, and that is the championship. And he's ahead of Matt Tibos at this stage, and he's doing enough at this stage to win the championship out on track. And with Matt Tibos' 3 second time penalty, theoretically, that puts him towards Jorg Isotopic sort of area if it was to stay as it is out on track. We should be expecting, though, the first round of pit stops to happen very soon indeed, as LMN now closes up onto the back of Ryan. Isotopic as well, under pressure from Wesker further down the field, as now Wesker tries to look to the inside line. It's not close enough, and the Norwegian hangs up, nearly goes into the back of Jorg, in fact, for 6th. But Isotopic under pressure here from Wesker, the Austrian, now using up that overtake mode. Is he going to try and use it up to good effect? Isotopic pulling away, though. You can see the red light flashing. The overtake mode is out. Wesker, ooh, nearly into the back. One very lucky boy to not get any damage there. And Wesker, 8th position, pretty much just giving Isotopic a bit of a bear hug out on track, let's just say.
Yeah, and we're starting to see a few groups of cars now start to stray away from the old DRS train that we had just a few laps ago. We got the top 5 in a bit of a train right now, and Ryan He's looking to put Matt Tibos under pressure here. He's only 3/10 off the back of him, and let's see if he can get a good run up the hill. And oh, this is going to be a beautiful run. Yep, DRS in overtake, and here he goes with DRS. He's going to look to the outside for turn 1.
Oh, Matt Tibos. He's not going to give this one up without a fight. He could be boxed in, actually, Ryan. He could try and do the decent thing and just stay, but no, he's down the inside line through turn 2. Brilliant by Ryan, but Matt Tibos is still there. Very, very close to contact. Nearly chops off the front wing. But Ryan, to be honest, he got the car pretty much fully ahead. He just shut the door on Matt Tibos at the pass. And Ryan, legal move, and he's up into second.
Yep, and Ryan now up in the second, splitting the red balls. And this is going to be heartbreaking for Matt Tibos in terms of the championship, because he can see Scuba ahead leading this race, and that's all he has to do. He's got a 3-second time penalty. Now he's got a car in between him and his teammate. Purely Boy and Secret Dundee are having a good battle further down the field as well, and Secret Dundee's going to go down the inside and towards Faradjura, gets the move done. Brilliant stuff by the Hungarian. Purely Boy's not going to give this one up without a fight. That 3-second time, he needs to remove, and Purely Boy tries to go for the inside line. That was never going to work, and Secret Dundee is through, and he's into 14th position with a really good move up the hill through Faradjura, and he's through, and he's into 14th position. The medium's coming into play. We've got LMN now. Closing in on Matt Tibos as well. The gap just around about 3-4 tenths of a second, and Matt Tibos' tyres 62 and 63% on the right. 64% front right as well. So I was just about to say, before you just alluded to that fact, Matt Tibos will be the first man to come into the pit. No shadow of a doubt. If he's got any sense on that car, and for his championship fight, he would come into the pit then, because not only will he try and get an undercut on Ryan, he will try and get an undercut on Scuba, and that is going to have to be really crucial for him in terms of the championship fight. He should worry about shorter term though, LMN and Noisy, who have probably got fresher tyres than him, and in fact LMN, on his best tyre, his rear left, he's got 49%. Compared to Matt Tibos on 57%. In terms of his tyre life, he's got 10% fresher tyres than Matt Tibos. Yeah, and we can see the effects of Matt Tibos' tyre wear right now. Look how much he's dropped to Ryan already. And we've got the top 2 in the pits. Top 2 in. LMN was going to close up on Matt Tibos as well, but we'll focus on the top 2 then into the pit lane. Scuba, I think Wesker is actually nearly going side by side with the topic, but Ryan into the pit lane, Scuba into the pit lane, medium compounded tyres, and this is perfect for them. 21 laps on the set of mediums, and Ryan is behind Scuba coming out of the pit lane. And how crucial this is going to be, and I think actually they're going to come out in a bit of traffic, because Secret Dundee is just coming through turn 1. He's on the right hand side of your screen there, coming through turn 2 and 3, and Secret Dundee is going to be side by side with Scuba coming out the pit lane, and Scuba is just about ahead, but that could have ended up in a bit of a disastrous scenario, to be honest, for Scuba, if he was behind. But he's not, and he's in to 12th position out of the pit lane. Ryan, though, has got to deal with a bit of traffic. Yeah, and that's crucial. I think Ryan's lost a little bit of time. Maybe the game just held him that extra second as Scuba's car went past, and Matt Tibos now hugging the inside, probably showing his intentions to pit. And yeah, he's going to dive into the pits, and I'm going to follow him in. And now we'll see just how good this undercut is from Scuba. He's got a bit of clear air. He was already about a second and a half ahead. Oh, I thought Matt... Oh, I'm on board with LMN. I thought I was on board with Matt Tibos and he was coming into the wrong pit lane there. What an absolute idiot I am. Matt Tibos, there is Scuba, and there is Scuba through turn 1, and Matt Tibos is only out the pit lane now. That is his pit crew walking in to the pit lane, and Matt Tibos has lost disastrous amount of time here. He is behind Ryan, he's behind Secret Dundee, and he's now more than a second off the back of Ryan. He's 2 seconds off the back of Ryan. He's won the second and a half off the back of Secret Dundee, but he's got a big fight in his hands, because LMN is right behind him coming out the pits. Yep, and he lost a full second on Ryan, and Ryan had traffic to get through as well, so that just shows how good the undercut really was for the top 2. And when you look at the likes of York and Sway, you got to feel that they're going to drop a lot of positions here.
They are going to drop a lot of positions, definitely. And yeah, Wesker 13th, Nathan and 14th. Jorg is into the pit lane then from the lead of the race. But Matt Tibos under pressure now from LMN. AlphaTauri against Red Bull. And there's no overtake mode being used up here now by LMN. He uses the overtake mode up to good effect. Is he going to try and look to the inside line running down and towards turn 1? I think he's got better brains than that as Matt Tibos stays in 8th. And LMN stays in 9th. Jorg is coming out the pit lane pretty much side by side with Wesker, I would think, coming out the pits. But Matt Tibos now going at Dundee. Dundee nearly forced him onto the grass. That's a little bit of aggressive racing from the Hungarian. Just warned him he's there. But Matt Tibos makes no nonsense of that. He is through, and he's into 7th position out on track. Jorg and Wesker, though, having a good fight running further down the field. Up towards Ferraduba we go. Nearly at the halfway stage. JJ who leads, Sway in 2nd. Jonas in 3rd. As Dundee has now been overtaken by everyone. And Noisy takes his chance down the inside line and gets through. Dundee's into 9th.
Yeah, Sigurd Dundee there going wide on the entry into turn 7, and Noisy just seizing the opportunity. He's like, thank you very much, I'll come down your inside, no worries mate, cheers and thank you.
Wesker, I definitely don't think it would be that nice from these drivers out on track, but you never know, they might have a few manners between them, that's good. But Isotopic on the back of Dundee, 4 tenths per second now. Dundee surely is going to have to come into pit. If I was him, I would come in for a set of hard compounded tyres, possibly towards the end of the race, just to try and get them toward the end. Isotopic though is now through, and Dundee is down into 11th, and he's dropping like an absolute fly through the field. Jorg and Wesker just on the back as well. Dundee's not doing a bad job, don't get me wrong, he's not doing a bad job. It just seems a little bit out of class, to be honest, compared to the guys here in Division 2 who've been racing all season. And as you said, Mike, as Jorg goes into the back of Dundee, forces him out wide. I consider that a push to pass, so I think Jorg should let him back through.
Yeah, I mean, on the pitch straight then, I was just looking at Sigurd Dundee, as it looked like he just completely let out the throttle, and oh my god, he went slow for the apex there. Wesker needs to be alert right now.
Wesker, do you know what? He just decides, you know what? I'm coming through. Down to the inside he goes. Dundee will not like that, I don't think. But, I mean, 15 lap all tyres against 1 lap all tyres. It's only going to go one way. Wesker through and he's into 12th. Sway, however, has managed an extra 2 laps.
Lost the back end. Nathan's going through.
Dundee lost the back end yet, so Nathan through and he's into 13th. Dundee now 14th. I was just about to say Sway. Dundee now relinquishes coming into the pit lane. So Dundee is in. He breaks just before the brake marker ball running into the pit lane. Sway then is coming out the pit lane. That's a disastrous camera angle, by the way. And he's gone onto a set of softs. They're not making it to the end. No way.
I am really confused.
I'm about as confused as those camera people walking into the pit garage, I should say. The pit crew walking into the pit garage, because that's all we saw for about 20 seconds there. Goodness me, the camera angles are terrible here in Brazil. Callboy, there was under pressure from her beauty board, 14th and 15th. Dundee was tied out on track, and B. Morgan has actually lost it coming out of turn 6. He sent the car spin through turn 8. In fact, he sent the car spinning. He's dropping down all the way down the field, and that is absolute disastrous for B. Morgan. And again, and Wesker's been caught up. Wrong place, wrong time. Wesker's got damage. B. Morgan has ran once again. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 2, and that is for B. Morgan. And B. Morgan's race has gone literally from 100 to 0 in about 30 seconds.
Yep, and fortunately, doesn't look like we're going to have a safety car. But yeah, I was just looking at the tyres that Sway has been on. He's already been on the set in the medium, so he can go soft to the end.
Yeah, he put in under the first safety car, remember? Did Sway. And he was on the set of soft compounded tyre. So he can go to the end of the race. If it's anything similar to what he's done, he should get to the end of the race, no problem at all. But my concern is, those tyres are going to puncture towards the end of the race. Trust me on that. Scuba leading, theoretically in the race in 3rd position out on track. Ryan in 4th, Matt Tibos in 5th. Currently, then 1st, 2nd and 3rd. But I tell you what, Noisy is on the back of LMN now, and he has joined this battle now for 5th currently for Net P3, and Noisy's actually got a little bit of clear air just in front of him. He's on the back of LMN. It's 8.5 tenths per second running towards Junsao once again. But Matt Tibos, under pressure from LMN, surely there's going to be a point where Matt Tibos just said, you know what, I'm going to crack, and LMN's going to try and get through.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the telemetry then. AJ needs to pit, I think, this lap. His front right is on 74%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's from like that'll be because of the lockups, of course, around this track and into Largos. So AJ will be struggling with that. He's got to come into the pit lane soon. Otherwise, anything above 70% is puncture territory. It's as simple as that on this game. Anything above that. Jonas, by the way, I just thought I'd mention, he's got 20-odd% fresher tyres than AJ. He only pitted in 2 laps later than him. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, Jonas doing a fine job at the moment on those hards, but the question is he going to have enough pace and enough wear on those tyres to get him to the end? I just don't think so.
No, Jonas won't get to the end. He'll go for a set of softs, probably around lap 29, and then really push his way through the field as B. Morgan has retired in the first sector out on track. Was that into the pit lane?
Yeah, it's pits.
AJ is in. He's listened to you. Goodness me,
Yes.
Nobody listens to me. AJ's into the pits from the lead of the race, but is Sway going to listen to me and try and get the move done on Wesker? Running down in towards turn number 1. Don't think he's going to be close enough, however, I have been wrong before. But no, on this occasion, he proves me right. He's not close enough, and he is still in 11th position, but he's now on the back of Wesker. Got on much fresher tyres, of course, and Sway is just going to laugh at his own rival just ahead, and this is already done. Running down in towards Desida de Largo at turn 4. Wesker's going to put up a fight, but he may as well not. Sway is through, and he's into 10th.
Yep, and he didn't listen to you when you first said it, but he did get through in the end.
Wesker's coming back at him, running up the hill. Of course, he has got right side end plate damage on that car, has Wesker from an earlier collision. He's got 31% worth of damage on that right side end plate. Pewdie Boy's got 6% worth of damage, so he's the only other driver out there with damage at this moment in time. Wesker in 11th, now really going to be under pressure from AJ, who's just came out on a fresh set of soft combat tyres. So if one man came up to him and said, you know what, I'm just coming through, AJ's going to be a bit rougher, I think, with Wesker this time, and he's just going to say, you know what, I'm going to get you in a couple of laps' time, maybe just put him under better pressure, but you may as well not try and fight if you've got damage.
Yeah, and this is the thing now for Wesker. He needs to pick his battles now, as I believe he can get 13th. He's got the gap to Hipul Boy.
Yeah, but remember, Jonas will be coming into the pit lane as well, so Jonas will be coming into the pits. Way 10th, Wesker 11th at the minute. We're on board though with LMN, who's still on the back of Matt Tibos, but all of a sudden, Matt Tibos, the tide has changed out on track. Matt Tibos has got the same tyre wear out on track, apart from 2% on the rear right compounder tyre. Matt Tibos is now within a chance, possibly to try and get Ryan as, what have you spotted?
I was about to say, he's just going with DRS range.
He's within DRS range, and Ryan in 3rd, Matt Tibos in 4th, LMN in 5th. Man on the back though, AJ on the back of Wesker. And look at this. This is already done. I'm just going to tell you, it's already done. There he goes. He's through. Goodbye. AJ's through and he's into 11th.
Yeah, and now this is one thing that I think we might need to keep our eyes on. Is obviously Matt Tibos has a 3-second time penalty. We know that already. But if Isotopic and York maybe come to some sort of agreement here, just DRS each other to close up to this group ahead, they could be getting ahead of Matt on penalty share.
Well, the middle sector and the final sector is the time where they're really going to try and gain out on track, because remember, there's no DRS zones in the middle sector, and certainly apart from the start-finish straight, there's none in Sector 3 apart from the start-finish straight. So Isotopic, 2 for 1 second, he's in clear air. He can now close up onto the back of Noisy. Noisy and LMN are going to fight. They fought earlier on in the season, and they really traded blows then. And I expect them to do the same now, as Scuba is going to try and trade blows for the race lead, as Jonas now leads onto lap 25. He is still going out on track. He's got 59% worth of tyres towards the end of this race. I don't think he's going to get to the end. He augurs through an Isotopic though, and he's into 7th position, so that agreement has failed. Scuba though has job done on the inside line in towards the seat of the Largo, and Scuba's through and he's into the lead of the race as Jorg managed to get the move done. As I say, a nice topic, and that gentleman's agreement that they might have had between them, it's out the window.
And now, here's the thing now. Jonas is he's on 22 lap old hards. What's his tyres been wearing like per lap? I'm gonna do some mental math. 2 seconds. This is gonna go swimmingly. I promise.
I'll save you the bacon. I think Jonas has been dropping 4 to 5% a lap, somewhere around that, I think. And Jonas is on the back of Scuba and he's beginning to try and get in. Just watch that front right tyre will be the one to watch out for, I think, if you want to try and calculate it. It's 61% coming across the line to start lap 26, with 11 laps to go. If he is so careful on those tyres, I could see them going to the end of the race. But that's a really big if. I think personally he should come in, put a fresh set of softs on, get the fastest lap of the race, get an extra point, and try and make his way through the field later on in the race, because he's going to be up against Wesker and AJ, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think he'd be behind them if he came into the pits now. Gap 18.5, well, 18 seconds between Jonas and Wesker.
Matt Tibos, though, on the back of Ryan, third, fourth, out on track. Scuba is still 0.8 of a second ahead of Jonas. To be fair to Jonas, he is really trying to make those tyres go as much as possible. I've just spied, on the right-hand side, 63% currently, and that's coming through Jun Sao. So he's only lost 2% worth of tyres on that lap. It's probably more within the game. According to the task system, it's 3% a lap he's losing them. If he loses 3% a lap, he's not going to get to the end of the race, obviously. But somebody that might, though, on these tyres is Matt Tibos, and he's on the back as LMN is going to try and attack on Matt Tibos as well. Now, I have a feeling we are now beginning to see a really good battle for third. Ryan, Matt Tibos on the back. He's got a very slim chance to try and hold in for the championship fight. He needs to get past through Ryan, up in towards the seat of the Largo. He's not close enough, though, on this occasion. Ryan stays third, Matt Tibos stays fourth. A bit of a slide coming out through turn 4 there for Matt Tibos as well. But he is in a commanding position. He's got a lap fresher tyres compared to Ryan. His tyres, though, in actual fact, are more worn.
Matt Tibos' tyre wear here today, I think, has been his biggest downfall.
And that's the downfall that'll lose him the championship. A very slim chance of the championship coming in tonight, but it'll lose him the championship. And it's as simple as that. And Scuba, 3/4 the way through the race, Scuba leads the way. Jonas in second. Jonas has held on valiantly, but surely is the time now for him to possibly to come into the pit lane to go on for a set of softs. No, he continues on another lap. Element, though, on the back of Matt Tibos, running down the straight. Noisy has joined in on the fray as well. So it's a 4-way battle for third now, beginning to heat up. The organiser topic, that gentleman's agreement really not working out. They're losing time as compared to gaining time. But Matt Tibos now, 0.3 of a second, just under 0.3 of a second. Going now down in towards the sea of the Largo once again. Ryan, though, hanging on valiantly. And both of them, of course, have got the same tyre wear out on track. Matt Tibos' tyre wear, it was the same last lap around. Matt Tibos on that front right tyre, he is locking up into pretty much every corner, into every braking zone, and that's what's costing him. And by my calculations, at this moment in time, I think those tyres are going to be gone by the end of the race.
Yeah, he's losing about 4-5% a lap.
Yeah, 5% a lap compared to Ryan, who I think is losing 4% a lap on that front right, definitely. But Matt Tibos now has got to trade pace for his tyres. I think he's got to now put a shift in out on track, and this is the time to put a shift in. Running down the start finish straight, he'll try and close up. 0.3 of a second out on track, 0.2 of a second, getting closer down in towards turn 1, but he's still not close enough. But honestly, I think he should just go for it. Whatever the tyres happens, he's going to lose the championship, I think, regardless. But now, this is his opportunity to try and get Ryan, and then to try and pull out a 3-second gap on him out on track. It's doable, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, and looking at the gap between Ryan and Jonas as well, Jonas doing a fantastic job of keeping the pace up on those hards. They're not closing in as rapidly as I'd expect.
They're not. And York, to be honest, on that set of mediums, and Sway obviously and AJ on the set of softs, they're not closing in because their tyres are now beginning to reach peak performance. And York and Isotopic, yes, York's getting closer this lap around, but he's not going to be close enough to Noisy towards the end of the race, I don't think. So, it's really a trade of battles between Ryan Mattibos, LMN, Noisy for P3 out on track. And this is where Ryan's actually pulled out a lot of time on running down in towards turn 1. Onto lap 30 we go. Scuba leading Jonathan second, Ryan in third. Mattibos still in fourth. Noisy though, I've got to argue, quicker at these four.
Maybe he does seem to be. Well, actually, both him and Element are pretty much identical on their tyre wear.
Yeah, 48% on that front right and 47% on that front right as well for Noisy. Element 48%. Mattibos though, if you saw what I saw coming out of turn 4, he's now pushing. Mattibos is now pushing. He feels he's got the tyres to a length where they're going to get to the end of the race, and I think he's just been saving them a little bit much. 4% in terms of his front right, 56% on that rear right. I tell you what though, Jonas is only on 75% worth of tyres. He's got 6 laps to go. Can he get to the end on a one-stop and get second? Remains to be seen as Mattibos there closes up on the back of Ryan. Overtake mode now used. Can he try and get the move done? No, Ryan stays third, but Jonas, can he do the impossible and get to the end of the race?
Did he do this last week as well?
He did. He did do this last week, like 30 laps, I think it was, in Mexico. Here is Mattibos still for third. Down the inside on the Williams of Ryan. He's letting the door shut and he spun! Mattibos' dreams of getting the championship, however slim they were, are now absolutely shot. He tried to go down the inside line. Ryan gave him enough space, to be honest, fair to Ryan. And Mattibos just hung it in there, maybe out of desperation, but that is that. Scuba, we can pretty much say now with confidence, has won the championship.
Yes, as Noisy also managed to get through an element there who had to take avoiding actions of Mattibos. So Noisy up 2 spots now, and now he's the man to keep an eye on against Ryan.
He is the man to keep an eye on. He's got about 4% fresher tyres compared to Ryan. It's only a lap's worth. Jonas, though, still going on. 32 out of 36. 4 laps to go. 78%. I think the writing's on the wall, to be honest, for Jonas out on track. But he may as well try and get to the end of the race. You never know. This task system could be completely wrong. He could be on 10% less worth worn tyres out on track. It is very realistic, though, this task system, so I'm trusting it. Jonas in second, Ryan in third. But I tell you what, no matter what happens here with Jonas, he has driven an absolute great race to try and get a one-stop to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, if he does this 2 weeks in a row, I'm going to have to ask him for some lessons on how to make your tyres last.
I'll have to have the lessons to how to drive out on track. Never mind try and get these tyres towards the end of the race. Scuba, though, leading the way. It's 4 seconds now, the gap. The gap is just commanding and is growing. Scuba to Jonas. Jonas now dropping off. Peak performance reach for those tyres. And now it's a chance of survival for Jonas out on track. There is Ryan in third. He's hunting him down. 1.6 seconds. Jonas is committed now to the end, no matter what happens. 81% on that front right tyre. Mattibos has spun. Just seen the task system there. Mattibos has spun out of John Sam. He's lost even more positions now out on track. Do you know what? If I was Mattibos, I'd just go for the fastest lap. Got nothing to lose.
Yeah. If I was Mattibos, I'd be chucking it in lean, turning the RS down to minimum, pit for the sauce, and just get the fastest lap.
Yeah. Definitely think that'll be the best scenario, to be honest. But Mattibos is not a quitter, like Gary. Isotopic 7th, Jorgen 6th. A little bit of shade there. I'm sorry, Gary, if you're listening. Scuba, Jonas, and Ryan for second and third. But Isotopic on the back of Jorg. And this has been a battle that's been brewing under the surface for the last few laps or so. And the Ferrari on the back of the Alfa Romeo here. Jorg's got a 3-second time penalty. Isotopic hasn't. Nathan has. Surely Isotopic's on for 6th.
Yeah, and obviously with the gap now, he's just over a second between Tionis and Ryan. When they catch up to Tionis, he is going to slow these guys down, which may allow Jorg and Isotopic to get into this train.
Just how is he still going? Out on track. How is he still going? He's still out of DRS range as well compared to Ryan and Noisy. This is insane. He's got 84% on that rear right. He's got 80% on that front left and 82% on that rear right. If it's anything like what Spag said, he got 3 punctures around Austria as a yellow flag in Sector 1, and that is Matt Tibos, and he's got right side end plate damage, and Matt Tibos has spun coming through out of turn 2, I think that is, if I'm not mistaken. And that is, coming through turn 2 out of turn 3, and Matt Tibos' race has now run out on track. Jonas, though, has got a puncture. Rear left tyre has gone out on track, and it's the one that was less worn. Out on track, and he's trying to fight the car as much as possible. He tried to make the one-stop work. Whatever happened, he tried, and he suddenly failed. And now let's put Ryan in the driving seat for second position. Oh, and Nathan runs straight into the back of Tionis. Don't think he realised, to be honest, the reactions there wouldn't have been there. I don't think Matt Tibos has spun again out on track. Tionis is still trying to fight the car. And he's now into the pit lane. Do you know what? He's going to go for the fastest lap. Isotopic there on the back of Jorg. But more importantly, Noisy on the back of Ryan for second.
Yeah, and I'm disappointed in the both of us. Neither of us said it. He was going slowly in the final sector, and we didn't go with a Glock joke.
We didn't. We didn't. And I think, to be fair to him, I didn't want to. Because that's just heartbreaking, to be honest, for a driver like that. For Tionis, to try and get towards the end of the race on that compounded tyre, 83%, the right number's on the wall. I said it a few laps ago, the right number's on the wall. However he might try, he definitely deserves a lot of credit out on track for even trying to get 33 laps on a set of hards around here. Scuba, though, is in the commanding seat. But will Ryan be in the co-pilot seat out on track in second as Noisy now begins to hunt him down, and this is where Noisy could make his move. If I was Noisy, I'd be smart. I'd wait until the seat of the Largo. I'm not Noisy, though, and Noisy's going to go around the outside in towards turn 1 and will give the DRS to Ryan. And now it hots up, final lap of the race. Scuba has pretty much won this. Noisy in second, Ryan in third, as Jorg has been overtaken by Isotopic as well.
Yep, Isotopic now up into 5th. And Ryan's got one opportunity to get back through on Noisy, and that is the run to the line.
And Jorg's coming back at Isotopic just in behind as well. Through the seat of the Largo we go. And Jorg and Isotopic are still side by side. Run up the hill and towards Ferradura. It ended in disaster for Trulli and for Alonso. It hasn't, though. And Jorg's ran the outside through Ferradura. What a move that is. We saw it similar with Secret Dundee earlier on in the race. But Jorg, that's even better from him. He's into 5th position. Yes, he's got a 3-second top lead, but nobody gives a damn. Jorg is through and he's into 5th position. But that man there, Scuba, is out the final corner for the final time out on track. It looks as if he's getting a little bit of a DRS, actually, and he knows that he is going to win the championship. Scuba now to the line in Brazil. Brazil likes the crown champions, and Scuba is one. He wins the TTML Division 2 championship, crashes his way coming across the line. Noisy in the end has picked up P2. Ryan in the end has picked up P3, and that move from Noisy, however critical I was of it, gets him second position in the end. Ryan in third, Alamen in fourth, Isotopic in fifth ahead of Jorg, with AJ there in seventh, Sway in eighth, Nathan in ninth, Wesker rounding off the top 10, Beauty Boy in 11th, Tionis there in 12th, and Tionis actually will jump ahead of Beauty Boy. I think out on track, a disaster for Tionis, and he does pick up the fastest lap of the race. Matt Tibos, however, did go on to the final lap. Cowboy comes across the line to finish in 13th. Disaster for him out on track after his early spin in qualifying. And Matt Tibos, has he got a chance to get a point, at least an extra point out on track, coming through this middle sector split? Let's see in terms of how he's going in the middle sector. And it is a 34.2 through the middle sector from Matt Tibos. So good lap from him. Is he going to try and steal the fastest lap? The rest is like qualifying all over again. Matt Tibos comes across the line, and he doesn't pick up the fastest lap of the race, but he does pick up 3 wheels.
I suppose it's something.
It's something. It's something to take away from the race. Driver of the Day is awarded by the in-game fans is Sway, but Your Division 2 champion here in TTML is Scuba. It was never in doubt. He comes to the top step of the podium, and a fantastic, fantastic win from the Irish Mid-Island track. He is now a champion.
Absolutely incredible drive there from Scuba, and a drive worthy of it's a champion's drive. We'll just leave it at that.
Yep, commanding, controlling, every C word you could find, apart from one. Scuba wins. Out on top. Noisy in second. Ryan in third. Yeah, I didn't want to say that word. Element in fourth. Isotopic in fifth. York there in sixth, with AJ in seventh. Sway in eighth. Nathan in ninth. Wesker ran off the top 10. Jonas in the end fastest lap of the race with a 107.8. He picks up an extra point for his try in that one-stop strategy. A Beauty Boy in 12th. Callboy in 13th. Matt Tibos, a disaster in the end for Matt Tibos in 14th. He had a 3-second tumble. He would have finished probably 4th, 5th out on track if he didn't spin. B. Morgan, Secret Dundee and Brandon all out of the race at various points. But Scuba has won, Noisy in second and Ryan in third. And I think, if I'm right in saying, certainly for me in the commentary box, it's the first time we have had a pole, a fastest lap, not a fastest lap from Scuba, but a pole and a win out on track. And it's his third win of the season.
I'm not sure about that, but it'd be fun to get the to be able to figure that out for next week anyway. But yeah, Scuba taking the win, and Red Bull also taking the constructors as well.
Yeah, Red Bull, well, obviously not in doubt, I think, with Scuba obviously winning the race. Matt Tibos as well, down in 14th position. But shall we try and get the top 3 in? Hoping to get at least 2 in.
Yeah,
and we'll get them in. I know, PS4 likes to make it hard for ourselves, doesn't it, when we have to invite drivers into the party. But there we are. That is it for tonight for TTML Division 2. Fantastic racing, of course. And we'll get, of course, the thoughts of the top 3 very shortly indeed. But we have got more action to come for you tomorrow night. Division 4 with myself and Paco Suarez taking you through the action. Division 5 is James Boyle and NSR Pariah. They're going to be taking you through the action for that. And then Saturday and Sunday, no racing at all. We're back at it again on Monday for CWC, of course. But the top 3 will come in, definitely, hopefully, for the race now on track. Noise is saying the mediums are goated. Sway's offering congratulations to Scuba. Mr. Goat, he is being called. What does that make me then?
I don't even want to think.
Mr. Goat commentator, does that have the same ring? No.
It's a bit wordy. It's a bit wordy.
It is very wordy, out on track. Just seen as well, Callboy saying he got wing damage. Noisy and LMN would have had a good battle, and he was lucky to sneak through when avoiding Matt Tibos spinning as well. And really good racing, though, out on track, which is very good to see. Of course, we'll get the guys in for interviews. You never know, Scuba might join us as well, but we'll certainly try and get Ryan and Noisy in for those interviews. But that's the penultimate round of the championship done, Mike.
Yeah, and both championships decided. So next week, it's just a race for bragging rights, I'd say.
Race for bragging rights, but a race for third in the championship, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So that will be probably our main focus point. Constructors, of course, will be quite close for second, I would imagine, as well. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to be here, of course, next week because I'm hoping that Daniel Hoggard is going to be back fixing his internet apparently tomorrow. So he should be back hopefully in time for the Wednesday racing for EML. If not, I will be there, hopefully with a co-commentator. If not, then we'll have to wait and see. We have got Noisy just joining us in the party. Ryan, I'm sure, will follow suit very soon indeed. And maybe Scuba will as well. So we'll just hold on 30 seconds, see if Ryan does join. Might be too busy typing in the Discord server, possibly.
Yeah, I'm gonna add him in the Discord server now.
Hopefully he joins. Hopefully he recognises that you're in the commentary box alongside me and he joins. We'll have to wait and see. Nosy is waiting very patiently, I've got to say, within the commentary box here for an interview. But hopefully Ryan doesn't take too long. Otherwise, the more time we waste, the more money we lose. Simple as that. But
Surely not. Surely not. They got me and you on here. That's guaranteed money.
that's guaranteed money. They've got Tom in the background as well. That's guaranteed money as well. Doing all the graphics, of course. I'm sure he'd be waving to you frantically at this point. However, he cannot hear you. He cannot see you. Well, he can see the comments and everything, but there we are. It's not the same than having a face on the stream, though, is it? But there we are. We'll conduct then the third place interview for Noisy. And Noisy, fantastic race for you out on track in the Alfa Romeo. You must be happy with the result.
Yeah, I actually got second, in case you didn't notice.
Yeah, oh, did you?
Yeah, I passed.
Oh, yeah, you did. Sorry. Oh my god, that's a real rookie mistake. I apologise. You got second out on track. That must feel really good for you, though.
Yeah, really didn't expect it after struggling first runs in quali and not really liking Brazil myself. Really didn't have pace before, but yeah, race went good. Just tried to save tires, and it really benefited me in the end, and could push at the end phase.
How did saving tyres work for you? Because obviously we had that early safety car, and then obviously we had Matt Tibos spinning pretty much about 6-7 laps from the end. But were your tyres at any point going to try and puncture?
No, there were, I think the highest got around 68% in the end, around that.
We were very lucky because Jonas in front of you punctured his front left, and his rear left, in fact. And I was looking at that within the TAS system, and that was the tyre that was least worn out of the four.
Yeah, it can really happen out of nowhere. It's always like a gambling game with tire wear and everything and punctures. Like that's something really needs to be addressed, in my opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a very high degradation circuit, but I'm sure a really good result from you though to finish second. Mike, any questions?
It was just a fantastic drive. Of course, that battle towards the end. It looked like it was going to be a great battle between you, LMN, Ryan, and Matt Tibos. But of course, knowing that there was just 2 seconds back to you organise the topic, how close were you to that penalty?
I actually got I had my first warning at around lap 10, and I got my second warning when I was trying to put an overtake on Ryan on like the second to last lap. So warnings were actually pretty good and didn't really struggle with it. So yeah, that's good.
Good.
I'm hoping he asks another question at this point.
No, I just want to know a penalty situation.
A man of very few words is our Mike here in the commentary box, as Cole comes, of course. I've got one more final question to ask, of course, Noisy. Abu Dhabi next week. How do you think you're going to get on around there?
I really don't like Abu Dhabi. I think it's just a trash circuit with the dirty air and the DRS. Yeah, I really don't like it. Probably will be at the back, I think.
Unfortunately, I think the Abu Dhabi organisers are paying us more to try and cover the race than they are to actually pay you to drive around that track.
Good.
But not good. You should be getting paid more than us.
Yeah. It's what it is. I'm already getting my joy out of driving with these other drivers who are also very good. So yeah.
Yeah, fantastic to see. Good performance from you. Go and let you enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
And now we'll move on to the man who I thought finished in P2, but he didn't. He finished in P3. It's XL Ryan. And Ryan, a very good result for you out on track. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was a decent result as always. I think just coming with a lack of practice. I think I was alright. I thought I was on for a solid P2 to be fair, but then I think I got a second warning, and that's I think where my confidence just knocked. Like I had a solid 2-second gap to Matt Tibos, and once I got a second warning, I was just cautious for the rest of the race, which then just led for them to catch me up, and then I just didn't have the ARS to defend Noisy on the second to last lap, which was annoying.
Do you feel you were a little bit overcautious to try and get that second position? Because in the end, you obviously finished in third, but you could have got second, as you say. So do you feel you were overcautious in that regard?
Yeah, I was. So obviously, I think if you're watching the first stint, I was on it all the time. I think I made like 3 overtakes on turn 1 and 2. I stuck it, sent it. And then once I got that second warning, when I was going through the center S's and that, I was just proper letting off more than I should be, and I was just being extra cautious. Because I knew if I get a penalty with the DRS train behind me, I knew I'd have dropped way back, and I was like, I'd rather lose the time being extra cautious than lose 3 seconds. So I was just like, I have to take the risk.
Yeah, the final lap of the race was quite interesting as well, because you got overtaken obviously down in towards turn 1 on Noisy. But then, running down in towards the Cedar del Lago at turn 4, you tried to have a go back at him. Did you feel you could have got the run if you had a better exit?
Yeah, like I said, I've been extra cautious on the SNRSs and that. So I think if I took it like I normally did and got a decent exit and got past Noisy, I could have then just sat in lean and obviously no ERS, saved it up through the middle sector, because you're not making the pass there unless you decide to absolutely send it. So I was hoping to get through him there. Then obviously just sandbag through the second sector, save up, and then just try and get the best exit I could. But I just didn't have the momentum, and obviously Noisy just held on to it, and we were all both derating, so there's not much I could have done.
Yeah, and obviously P3 as well for Williams keeps you in the mix for P2 in the Constructors. So going into the final race of the season, how do you feel in terms of the Constructors battle you're going to get on?
Well, after Gary, dipped, I thought I'd have to take the reins and do what he couldn't do, and try and get some results. But going to Abu Dhabi next week, last season I was on for the win, and then I got absolutely annihilated. So I'm out for redemption next week. If I don't win, I'm going to be a very, very mad Ryan. Let's just say that.
Yeah, let's hope there's going to be no assassinations out on track next week in Abu Dhabi.
Missiles are out there for me.
Yeah, definitely don't want that. Mike, any questions?
I have a question about the pit stop. It seemed like you lost well over a second in the pit stop phase. Whilst pitting at the same time as Scooper. What happened?
To be fair, I think I've heard stories about when you come out the pit there, the exit there, and trying to full speed it and that you can nick your wing. And I was like, if I get wing damage here coming out the pits, that'll be me done. I won't be able to race. So I was like, I'll be extra cautious, and then. It didn't help that I came out behind, I don't know, Crocodile Dundee or something. I don't know what his name was. I came out behind him, and fair enough, obviously, he's in the race, but I was like, get out of the way, please. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I was saying other words in the party, but I was just like, get out of the way. And then I lost all the momentum and speed behind him, and I lost that gap in the DRS to Scuba. I think if I could have stayed in that, I would have just sat behind Scuba for the rest of the race. But yeah, that just put me off, and then it went down from there, really.
Let's hope Mr. Crocodile Dundee, the Hungarian who debuted this week, does not listen to this. And he's going to come and at you now on Discord.
I'm sure. All I can remember was Dundee at the end of his name, so I was like, yeah, you're Crocodile Dundee, mate. So,
That's absolutely brilliant. Obviously, got your thoughts Abu Dhabi going into next week as well. So good night. You enjoy your evening.
No, well, you too, guys. Catch you in a bit.
See you in a bit. And Scuba, by the way, saying in Discord, I have never and will never do interviews. I'm not that guy to explain a race that happened, and my old head can't remember anything. There you go.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either, but there we are. I could get him on Discord and ring him on Discord and see if we can try and conduct an interview that way. But then again, if he said that, we'll leave him be. Why not?
Yeah, we'll leave him be, and we'll just add him later on Twitter just to wind him up.
Just conduct like a paper interview ready for next week for TTML Division 2. Of course, in Abu Dhabi next week. And, of course, tomorrow night in Brazil, Division 4 and Division 5. Going to be taking you through by myself and Paco Suarez. I was going to say Aidan Carter there. Goodness me. He's got a shout out at least. James Boyle and Anazar Pariah, of course, for Division 5. I'm very forgetful. I thought Scuba was getting old. I'm getting even older. Honestly, my brain is so, gone nowadays. But there we are. Monday, of course, EWC, Division 1 and 2. And then we're back at it, Division 1 of TTML. And then Wednesday night, it is EML, the return of EML, not the Formula 1, not the Formula 2, but the Premier and League 1. Very confusing with these names, I know. But League 1, of course, is going to be Aidan Carter and Luke Etheridge, and myself and Daniel Hoggard are taking you through the action, of course, for EML, and what promises to be a really, really good week's worth of action next week. But from myself and Ivor Bryn, Mr. Michael Edwards, thank you so much for watching. Please take care of yourselves in this crazy world that we all live in. For myself, James Head, and from Michael Edwards, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.
Tomorrow you'll regret it, but until the morning, dance with me, baby, take away the pain. Dance with me, baby, you can lead the way. Dance with me, baby, a cure for the heartbreak. Dance with me and let this old record play. Let it play, baby. Let it play, baby. Dance with me and let this old record play.
Without you here, can't sleep, can't breathe. I need you here, right next to me. Thoughts in my head, racing. We can't go on like this anymore. I'm done with the games we're playing. I'm over it. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Oh, yeah, I gotta let you go. Oh, yeah, I gotta let you go. Yeah, I gotta let you go. Summer fine. I saw you right up in the summertime. I tried to make you mine, it wouldn't work. Put in work, I had to push you first. I lost my mind, went berserk. I feel like Uzi Vert. Vivian Westwood chain hanging right around my neck. Balenciaga kicks 44 when I step. Summer fine. I saw you right up in the summertime. But now I stay inside all the time, wasting away, waiting for you to call one more time. Without you here, can't sleep, can't breathe. I need you here, right next to me. Thoughts in my head, racing. We can't go on like this anymore. I'm done with the games we're playing. I'm over it. So I had to let you go.